Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatir Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutah Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Advaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamascha Me Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Mancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna. Okay, so we're discussing about Narada Muni, Canto 1, Chapter 5, verse 30. We had finished till verse 30, so we'll proceed from here. Second, let me share the screen. Okay. Yenaivaham bhagavato vasudevasya vedhasaha mayanubhavam avidam yena gachanti tatpadam. By that confidential knowledge. By which confidential knowledge? In the last verse, just for a recap. As they were living, those Bhakti Vedantas who are very kind to poor-hearted souls instructed me in the most confidential subject, which is instructed by the personality of Godhead himself. So this is the knowledge of Bhakti Yoga, which is actually what is Krishna is giving in Bhagavad Gita also. So knowledge about him, the middle 6 chapters, 7 to 12, and chapters of Bhakti Yoga, where Krishna first speaks about himself, speaks about devotional service. So this is the most confidential subject. How to understand Krishna and what is the process to achieve Krishna. So here, by that confidential knowledge. Why confidential? Because people who might be very well versed in Vedas also generally find it difficult to come to this conclusion. What is the goal of knowing Vedas is to Vedascha sarve rameva vedya. So to know Krishna is the goal, but it's not easy to figure that out because there's so much of distraction. And this was, we already discussed, right? Like Narada Muni almost chastised Vyasadeva, saying that you distracted people by giving all this karma kanda in Veda. So this is very confidential knowledge. It's not something which is very openly available. It's openly available, but still not openly available, right? As in it's there, but it's people don't get to it. So by that confidential knowledge, I could understand clearly the influence of the energy of Lord Krishna, who is the creator, maintainer, annihilator of everything. In clearly the influence of energy, because then we'll understand. When we understand Krishna, when we understand our position, when we understand devotional service, then we understand that we are actually in illusion. That all these days we were living thinking I'm the body, and that is the influence of Krishna's energy. Krishna's material energy binds us here. Krishna's spiritual energy pulls us out of here. So both ways, Narada Muni understood the influence of the energy of Krishna. By knowing that, one can return to him and personally meet him. By knowing this, that I'm not the body, I'm spirit, soul, I'm part and parcel of Krishna, I'm to serve Krishna, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, I'm bound in this material world, I'm in illusion thinking I'm the body, and all this knowledge, and then knowing that by devotional service I can go to Krishna, one can return to him and personally meet him. So see, and this is not an exaggeration, right? This is not an exaggeration. This is the result of devotional service. What is the perfection of devotion? When we achieve the perfection, what will we experience? Anybody can tell? What is it that we will experience when we achieve perfection in devotional service? Any thoughts?
Pranam Prabhuji, separation from Lord.
Sorry, Mataji, your voice is not clear.
This is separation from Lord at the highest.
Separation from Lord. Okay. Okay. Separation from Lord. See, basically, yeah.
Brahmabhuta stage?
Brahmabhuta, no. Brahmabhuta is a very initial stage. Brahmabhuta stage is Brahmabhuta Prasannatma na sochit nanakangshati samas sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labhate param. The one who comes to Brahmabhuta, he will start his bhakti. Once somebody comes to Brahmabhuta, then he will start pure devotional service. But I'm asking, what is the end of devotional service? The end of devotional service.
Raganuga Bhakti means, yeah.
No, Raganuga Bhakti is the path. What is the end? That is the path, process.
Moksha, Prabhu.
Moksha. Yo, Krishna. Shantam Papam.
No, Prabhu, I'm telling, you get out of this cycle of birth and death.
No, but that's not the ultimate. That is Moksha. Mukti is Brahmabhuta. Okay, let me explain this. This is very, very important. See, first, there are multiple paths of processes of yoga processes, right? So, Gnana Yoga. Gnana Yoga, one actually goes through the process of neti, thinking that I am Brahman. And the whole idea is to merge with Brahman, become one with Brahman. So this is actually mukti. Moksha means this, right, at a general level. Generally, when we talk about mukti, it is getting out of this material world. And then such people normally, they want to become one with Brahman. So they use this word mukti. I get out of this material world and I become one with Brahman. So in technical terms, this is called Sayujya Mukti. Mukti, moksha, same word, same but two different words. So this is called Sayujya Mukti. This is not for devotees. This is for Gnanis. Okay. Then when we come to the process of actually even Dhyana yogis meditate on Paramatma, their goal also unfortunately is this Brahman only. Sayujya Mukti only. While Dhyana yoga as a process can take the yogi to the spiritual world. He can enter the spiritual world. But because people do it with this intention, desire to become one with Brahman, they will achieve that goal. So, but when one becomes a bhakta potentially can accept the other four stages of moksha, which is Sarupya, Salokya, Samipya, Sarsti. And Sarupya having the same form as that of the Lord, which is in Vaikuntha. Sarupya, Salokya, same loka as the Lord, residing in the same loka as that of the Lord. Samipya, staying closer to the Lord. Sarsti, having the same opulence as possessed by the Lord. So these are four other mokshas apart from Sayujya. Sayujya is not for devotees. These four is okay, but mostly this is Vaikuntha. These four mokshas take us to Vaikuntha. Okay. And what is the desire of pure devotees? Pure devotees don't want Sayujya Mukti, don't want these other four Muktis also. They want only service to Krishna. Wherever I am, whether I'm in hell, heaven, material world, spiritual world, they are not bothered. They just want to serve Krishna and make him happy. So pure devotional service, if we are engaged in pure devotional service, Mukti is not our goal. Getting out of material misery is not our goal. But Kleshagni, it says like Shuddha Bhakti, automatically as a side effect, it's the first effect, Kleshagni, getting out of material miseries. The pure devotee actually gets out of all material miseries. He doesn't experience any of the miseries like we do. So it's there, but it's not the goal. It's just like a first side effect of bhakti. So my question is, what is the ultimate stage? What stage we will reach when we do practice the process of devotional service? Yeah, first is Vaidhi Bhakti, then we go through Raghavanaga Bhakti. Ultimately, we will experience Krishna in this world. We will see Krishna, we will hear Krishna's flute, we will smell the fragrance coming from Krishna's body, we will touch Krishna. All this will happen in this material world, in this body. Of course, body would have been completely spiritualized by then, but still externally this body will be there. Okay, so in this world only, perfection of bhakti is to actually get in touch with Krishna personally. So obviously then when we give up this body, then we will continue to associate with him, right, in the spiritual world. So this is the confidential knowledge. This confidential knowledge takes us to this stage. So it's what we are engaging in terms of, sadhana bhakti is not it's not going to give us some ordinary result. It will give us extraordinary result, which other processes cannot even imagine, because all other processes, jnana, dhyana, everything has to have a tinge of bhakti for them to achieve anything beyond just simple mukti. Okay, so bhakti is this confidential knowledge. And it will give us experience of Krishna both in this world and in the afterworld. Okay, so what Prabhupada is saying in the purport, he's saying by devotional service or by the most confidential knowledge, one can understand very easily how the different energies of the Lord are working. So this we can understand, because how can we understand this? Okay, so going forward, I'll also start asking some questions so that I can elicit your understanding, because some of these things I would have already told. Now, if Shravanam is done with proper notes making, pretty much you should be able to answer these questions. How by the process of devotional service one can understand how Lord's different energies are working? How can we understand this statement? See, when we do devotional service, we are actually in this material world and we are doing devotional service. So devotional service, this ABCD basic knowledge is I am not this body, I am spiritual. So when I hear this knowledge and I am practicing devotion parallelly, then I will start experiencing few things in my life. For example, I will go through difficulties in life, right? Generally, we go through various difficulties. And when we go through difficulties, then and I've read this knowledge in the row, I'm not this body, I'm spirit soul, but this body is just like a covering and it's the source of all miseries. So then when I'm practicing bhakti, then I will apply. Krishna says, Tham Stitikshasva Bharata. Oh, I'll say, I have to tolerate all problems. Okay, let me try to tolerate. Then when you tolerate, then suddenly we are able to deal with the problem much better. Then we'll say, oh, okay, I understood how Krishna's energy works. So this Vignana, Gnanam Vignanam Sahitam. Hare Krishna, mute kijiye. Okay. So we will understand how Krishna's energy is working, because then we will start seeing material energy in action. Oh, coronavirus. Oh, material energy. Oh, Lord's devotional service. Oh, yesterday was Nityananda Trayadashi. I was at the temple. So such amazing kirtan and abhishekam and prasadam. Oh, I was so happy. Devotional energy, internal energy. So when we engage in devotional service, we are seeing in action material energy and spiritual energy. So we can understand very easily. But somebody who is not in bhakti, he just cannot understand. He'll come to the temple and he'll see all people jumping and dancing and say, what is this crazy? Is this what you do in a temple? And he doesn't have any understanding of glories of prasadam. So he'll just eat, this is not nice, this is nice. So somebody who is not engaged in devotional service, he cannot at all understand internal energy, devotional energy. Material energy he cannot understand, because he will never understand, oh, corona, why, what happened? No, you'll never be able to understand. So one who is not engaged in devotional service, he has no way to understand how the different energies of Krishna are working. Right? Only one who is engaged in devotional service can understand. Right? And then Prabhupada is saying the Lord desires, as he has directly said in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord desires, please note this word. Please note this word. That all conditioned souls rotting in the kingdom of material energy come back to him by giving up all engagements in the material world. That's why I keep saying, Prabhupada's purpose, each and every line should like shake us up. So Lord is desiring that we give up all engagements in the material world. What does this mean? How do we understand this? And we should understand, okay, we're rotting in this material energy, rotting in the kingdom of energy. That we understand. We are rotting here. Right? But the Lord desires that all conditioned souls come back to him. How? By giving up all engagements in the material world. So what does this mean?
You should do only bhakti and nothing else.
Then
Almost
design-
like sannyas.
डिजाइन कर देंगे कल से.
Uh,
Is that what Krishna is saying? Is that what Prabhupada is saying?
yeah, I mean, whatever is the occupational duty which we are doing, we should do it with absolute focus on bhakti and nothing else. Not for our sense pleasure, not for proprietorship.
Okay.
It's like I mean, I think you mentioned some time back that we should live in the family as a guest, right? So with that kind of attitude and only working for the satisfaction of Lord and nothing else.
Okay. Who else has any other views?
Technically, Prabhu, everything, whatever is there in the material world, I think we will not be interested about it, and we will try to see something more, or some like we will, try for an higher taste or something, and then we try to surrender to Krishna.
Then we surrender to Krishna. Okay. Okay. Any other thoughts? See, the more you all participate, you have certain notions, right? If the thought process is correct, then it will get reinforced. If the thought process is not correct, then it will get corrected. But if you don't participate, you're not actively thinking, then, I don't know. I mean, it's more effective when you participate. Okay, so we have to understand. First thing is, Lord desires us to come out of this material world, right? Which is clear, isn't it? Right? Lord wants us to come out of this material world. That is very clear. We don't want, that is a different problem, right? Again, if I ask a question saying that, how many of us want to leave this material world? It's a rhetorical question, right? In a group of devotees, everybody will raise their hand saying that I don't want to be in this material world, isn't it? Is there anybody here who wants to be in this material world? No. Everybody will say, I don't want to be in this material world. Right? But the point is then, are we still attached to things? Yes, we are attached to things, isn't it? So we should understand, see, the process is that giving up all engagements it basically has two parts. One is, that is why Varnashrama we have to understand. When we are in Grihastha Dharma, we should do our duties as a matter of fact, without being karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturur mate sangostu karmani, without being attached to the fruits, without considering that I am the doer, so all this, right? So we work as a matter of duty. We don't work for sense gratification. We just work to keep the body and soul together. This is what Bhagavatam says. But then we have to come to a stage where we give up all engagements, which is Vanaprastha. So we have to come there. We should not plan to remain in Grihastha all our life. So automatically at a certain point of time, we have to literally give up all engagements. At this point of time, Grihastha Ashram, we are not giving all engagement, giving up because we have a responsibility to take care. But we have to finish up that responsibility, wrap it up quickly, and then actually literally give up all engagements. And this is literal. This is not like notional. This is not like I'm doing my activity, but I'm thinking it's for Krishna. No. Literally, we have to give up material engagements. If we don't give up material engagements, our consciousness will be just full of material things, which is inevitable when we are in Grihastha life. And I've seen the difference, right? When I was working versus not working, it's just like head is full of thoughts about work, keeps interrupting, right? But when you give up that, then your head is completely free. So Matajis who are not working, you're already like literally you can come to that stage, provided material attachments are given up. Right? So the Lord desires that eventually we take this path and we give up all engagements and we engage full-time in service. Lord desires it. Guru also desires it. The only person who doesn't desire it is us, unfortunately. So this is bhakti. This is bhakti. So we have to work towards it. At least we should desire. At least we should desire. Right? We should desire, saying that, okay, by maybe 50, okay, may not be 50, maybe 55. And if our marriage was really late and our children are still young, maybe 60. But we have to draw a line saying that no, after this, I am going to stop material engagement. Whatever Krishna has given by then, I will just use that and manage my life somehow. And I want to engage in full-time service. It's possible for all of you who are mostly professionals, working software, business, etc., etc. It's definitely possible. Right, but we should desire this. We should at least take out from our mind saying that, oh, I'm going to keep working all my life. Or I'm going to keep earning money all my life. Right, at least that thought process we should give up and we should think seriously about entering Vanaprastha, meaning full-time devotional service.
Bro, I have a question.
Hmm.
So giving up all the engagements and going to Vanaprastha, that is definitely a target for a Grihastha. But that is also not a end state, I suppose, right?
No,
so
no,
that
it's not the end state.
Yeah. So then also from there is a scope of upliftment that we go to basically Prema Bhakti, right? Doing that devotional service. So basically it's a you can say route to basically go to that, but that is something which is a must, right?
Yeah, I mean, without Vanaprastha, we cannot think about Krishna Prema. We cannot think of Krishna Prema because bhakti has to be done ahetuki apratihata. How will you do ahetuki apratihata if you are engaged in all kinds of material activities? What does ahetuki apratihata means? Like no hindrance and no cause. And it's not, again, these words are not used as like, we will interpret it. No interpretation. It literally means ahaituki. It literally means apratihata. Literally means no reason for doing bhakti. Literally means no disturbance, no obstacle. Meaning 24 hours devotional service, which is only possible in Vanaprastha. So bhakti, really we will start practice only at that time. This is like, like net practice. We have to come to the game will start, then only we'll reach finals.
Yeah.
Right? Which is Krishna Prema.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, 32. Etat samsuchitam brahmam stapatraya chikitsitam yadishware bhagavati karma brahmani bhavitam. O Brahmana Vyasadeva, it is decided by the learned that the best remedial measure for removing all troubles and miseries is to dedicate one's activities to the service of the Supreme Person of God, Sri Krishna. We should tell people this. Best remedial measure for removing all troubles and miseries is what? Dedicate one's activities to Krishna. Dedicate one's activities not for anything else. Which is what Prabhupada said in the previous purport. Whatever activity we do should be dedicated to Krishna. In Grihastha, we will do this work and we will say, Krishna, this is yours. Right? Or we will think, Krishna, this is yours. I'm working to take care of your family, your house. This is Sharanagati. Right? There also, in one way, as long as we are not using the money for sense gratification, we have dedicated our activities for Krishna. Then subsequently, in Vanaprastha, we will actually literally dedicate it to directly to activities of bhakti. Sri Narada Muni personally experienced that the most feasible and practical way to open the path of salvation or get relief from all miseries of life is to hear submissively the transcendental activities of the Lord from the right and bona fide sources. So here submissively, that we understand, I guess. So not in an egoistic way, not in a way that I know more, I know everything. Here submissively. So this is first. Second, here what? Transcendental activities of the Lord from right and bona fide sources. So this one actually, His Holiness Bhakti Bhakta Prachara Parivrajaka Swami Maharaj. So he had come to the temple on the occasion of Nityananda Trayadashi. So he told a very amazing statement with respect to this right and bona fide source. So he said, like, actually there are three types of hearing. One, we just hear, as in we just read or read for information. We hear or read basically, neophyte stage, where whatever we are reading, it's only information for us. This is the first stage. Second stage, when we hear, realize, so this is jnana. Next stage is vijnana. When we hear transcendental realizations from whom? From a transcendentally realized soul. What is transcendentally realized soul means? That he has experienced this knowledge, vijnana, experienced knowledge. So when he has experienced knowledge, he will explain it very nicely because he has experienced it. So this is second stage of hearing. So at least we should hear from devotees who are realized. Third, the topmost, which is revealed knowledge. So we will come in Narada Muni's life, we will see that he actually got revealed knowledge. So the Lord revealed himself to Narada Muni. So this is revealed knowledge. So if we get the opportunity to hear from devotees who have reached the stage of revealed knowledge, then we are super fortunate. This is like Srila Prabhupada, right? Or many of our great acharyas. So they are revealed. So when they speak, it is actually by seeing. They've seen it. They've experienced it. And hence they are saying. Right? So like Vyasadeva, when he wrote Bhagavata Purana, he saw Lord's activities. He saw the Leela. Right? Our acharyas, they've gone to Samadhi and they've seen the pastimes of Krishna happening in Goloka Vrindavan. So this is revealed knowledge. So if we are fortunate, very, very fortunate, then we will hear from revealed knowledge from, devotees at that level. At least we should hear realized knowledge from realized devotees. And what is this realization means? Means somebody who has taken information and experienced transformation. Meaning he has transformed. There is some transformation that the devotee has seen in his or her own life. And thereby, and the transformation was the result of the information that he heard or read. So he has experienced that knowledge in his life. So he's a realized devotee. And when a realized devotee speaks, because he's speaking from experience, it will have a very powerful transformatory effect on the hearers. Is that okay? This is very, very important. And Maharaj made a point saying that discriminate from whom you are hearing, whom you are from, with whom you are associating, etc. Because it is important that we engage with, we hear from at least realized devotees. So both are important. Discrimination, finding the right source, and hearing from them. And Maharaj made this blatantly. I mean, he made this statement saying that not that we just hear from everybody and anybody. He said openly in the class. It's not that we just go to internet and we hear anybody's class or anybody speaking. No.
So what is the difference between realized and revealed? So revealed, I understood. Realized, is it like they heard from the revealed persons, which they are telling, is it?
No, I mean, you heard from revealed persons, or like, for example, Prabhupada has written. Whatever Prabhupada has written is revealed knowledge, right? So when we read Prabhupada's books, it's actually we are hearing from a person who has reached that stage. Just that because we cannot ask questions and converse with him, we are in that way disadvantaged because we are not at that level to actually understand completely Prabhupada's purpose. But somebody who is progressed in his life and who has heard this knowledge and applied it in his life, and it's simple, right? Like, for example, Tam Sthiti Kshasva Bharata. Now, Krishna is saying tolerate. Now, somebody who is tolerated and experienced what it means to tolerate and how it was before has realized. He has realized what it means to tolerate, meaning he has experienced. So now he can clearly explain, right, how he was intolerant before, how he was tolerant, and how it helped. He can then talk about different aspects of suffering, how the mind works in all these situations, how we have to counteract, how we should be on the path of bhakti. So because he would have done all that. So he's experienced it, and he's put the, all the different instructions by our acharyas, he's put them into practice in those difficult times. And he's been able to learn and internalize it. So he can now explain in a way that we can learn without necessarily going through the trouble. Right? Because he has experienced it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else has any questions? Is it clear? Okay, this is the only remedial process. The entire material existence is full of miseries. Foolish people have manufactured out of their tiny brains many remedial measures for removing threefold miseries pertaining to body, mind, pertaining to natural disturbances, etc. Adi Devik, Adi Bhautik, Adhyatmik. The whole world is struggling very hard to exist out of these three miseries, but men do not know that without the sanction of the Lord, no plan or no remedial measure can actually bring about the desired peace and tranquility. A remedial measure to cure a patient is useless if it is not sanctioned by the Lord. It's also very important, especially those who are having any kind of problems, and we endeavor to get a solution. But if it is not sanctioned by the Lord, our endeavors will not see results. Simple, as in we have to understand, saying that, I might put in the effort, but Krishna is not sanctioned, I'm not going to get the results. So I should not break my head. So just keep trying and wait. Just keep trying. Wait for Lord's mercy. To cross the river or the ocean by a suitable boat is no remedial measure. if it is not sanctioned by the Lord. We should know for certain the Lord is ultimate sanctioning officer, and we must therefore dedicate our attempts to the mercy of the Lord for ultimate success. So we should just do our work and wait for mercy of the Lord. That's all. Pratyenu kampasa samikshama. So the point here is that just dedicate all your activities to Krishna and leave your life in Krishna's hands. And anyway, by doing that, it will result in removal of all troubles and miseries. Prabhupada saying best thing is to get relief from all material activities. Get relief from all material activities and engage completely in hearing. Prabhupada is saying give up all your material activities and engage completely in hearing. If this is not possible, then one should engage everything for which one has attraction in the service of the Lord. This is Karma Yoga. We have attraction for working, then we work and we use the results for Krishna. So Prabhupada is saying best is to give it up and simply just engage in completely in hearing. Shravanam Kirtanam. If that is not possible, then do whatever karma you have to do, but engage that also in the service of the Lord. These verses, I mean, some of these chapters are not like very super powerful. So please read the purpose. I'm just touching on very important points. I mean, there could be more said. Amayo yascha bhutanam jayate yena suvruta tadeva shyamayam dravyam na punati chikitsitam. O good soul, does not a thing applied therapeutically cure a disease which was caused by the very same thing? So what is Narada Muni saying here? He's saying karma. It has been my karma because of which I have been stuck, bondage. The reason for my bondage is my karma. Can the same activities now be applied therapeutically? Which means that I am still inclined to do some action. Can I do that action in such a way that it will give me release from this bondage? So actions, why is he saying that? Because he said in the previous verse, engage all your activities dedicate all your activities to Krishna. So then question might come, oh, I thought Gnana Marga is like giving up all activities. No, here Narada Muni is saying, no, engage all your activities for Krishna. So those activities cause bondage. Now the same activities will give you liberation, will take you away from this material world. The material conception of a thing is at once changed as soon as it is put in the service of the Lord. It looks like a very simple statement. Material conception of a thing is at once changed as soon as it is put into the service of the Lord. So, for example, if we are using this microphone, otherwise this is a material thing and somebody can use it to sing some film song or some pop music or whatever, right? But it suddenly becomes spiritualized when it is put into the service of the Lord, right? That is the secret of spiritual success. So Prabhupada is just talking about Yukta Vairagya, meaning use everything in Krishna's service. We should not try to lord it over material nature, nor should we reject these things. The best way to make the best use of a bad bargain is to use everything in relationship with the Supreme Lord. Everything is an emanation from the Supreme Spirit, and by his inconceivable power, he can convert spirit into matter and matter into spirit. Therefore, a material thing is at once turned into a spiritual force by the great will of the Lord when we engage it in Krishna's service. The necessary condition for such a change is to employ so-called matter in the service of the spirit. Right? That is the way to treat our material diseases and elevate ourselves to the spiritual plane, where there is no misery, no lamentation, no fear. No sochati, no kankshati. When everything is thus employed in the service of the Lord, we can experience that there is nothing except Supreme Brahman. But there is nothing material in this world. Material is just a misconception that we think of something as material when we don't think of it in service of Krishna. We think it is material, but when something is used in the service of Krishna, it ceases to remain material. It becomes spiritual. So if everything in this world is used for Krishna, then everything is Brahman. Everything is spiritual. So then there's no material at all. This is mukti. Right? So basically, what is the point being made is to dedicate our activities to Krishna, use everything in the service of Krishna. Don't engage in sense gratification. Actually, I was thinking about it. This is so difficult, you know. I mean, one by one, we have to slowly identify what are my material attachments and slowly try and get out of one by one, right? By Krishna's mercy, by Guru's mercy, you know, beg for their mercy. But it's, I mean, we might think that, oh no, don't have any material attachment, or I have only few material attachments. And then we should just sit in a corner and then we start thinking, what all material things am I attracted towards, am I attached to? And suddenly we'll realize saying that we get a long list of things. Right? And then we should understand, oh, Krishna, I want to come to you, but I have so many material desires, so many material attachments. Which was Nityananda Trayodashi. Nityananda Trayodashi is to beg for mercy from Lord Nityananda that please cut away all my material attachments. Please engage me in the service of Krishna. And Nityananda Prabhu's mercy means being accepted by a guru as a disciple, becoming a disciple, and then dedicating our life to service of Guru. That is Nityananda Prabhu's mercy. Right? Yeah, so ultimately we should engage all our activities in Krishna's service. Evam drinam kriya yoga sarve samsriti hetavaha ta eva atma vinashaya kalpante kalpita pare. Thus, when all a man's activities are dedicated to service of the Lord, those very activities which cause this perpetual bondage become the destroyer of the tree of work. Basically, karma, bandhana will be destroyed. The accumulation of all our punya and papa will be destroyed. The propensity for enjoyment may be turned into desire for serving the mission of the Lord. What a statement. Propensity for enjoyment may be turned into the desire for serving the mission of the Lord. What does this mean? Can someone explain? Anybody?
When we do any work in material, this thing, so and if we keep the fruits or results for ourselves, then it's basically an enjoyment. But by actually dedicating that to the Lord and doing it becomes spiritual by itself. So that's what it means.
Okay. Okay. What else? How else can we do? That is one way. The other way is, suppose say I am a singer. Then I engage my singing, which is my natural tendency, in the service of the Lord. Or I am a painter. I use my propensity in the service of the Lord, etc., etc., etc. Right? Or if whatever I'm doing is cannot directly be used in the service of the Lord, which is very unlikely, because anything anybody does can be used in the service of the Lord. But if we think that no, it's not possible, then we should just use the Lakshmi coming from that, whatever we earn, in the service of the Lord. And this is all karma yoga. The conclusion is that when the result of all fruity work and the work is dovetailed and other work is dovetailed with the service of the Lord, it will cease to generate further karma and will gradually develop into transcendental devotional service. So please understand, karma yoga itself is not devotional service. It has to come to the process of bhakti. So by just doing karma yoga, we are just setting ourselves to come to bhakti, that's all. But karma yoga by itself, though there's a tinge of yoga, because it somehow is getting connected to Krishna, but it's not bhakti. So propensity to do work is not bhakti. It's just enable us to come to bhakti, that's all. Okay. The summary is that one has to first of all seek the association of pure devotees who not only are learned in the Vedanta, but are self-realized. That's what I was saying. Self-realized souls and unalloyed devotees of Sri Krishna. In that association, neophyte devotees must render loving service physically and mentally without reservation. This is very, very important. That is why we are trying to do in every area. Actually, I should have. So we are starting a program here in Chandra Layout this Saturday from today, from 6 to 7. Vamshi Prabhu, I'll send you also the invite if you are in this area. So, the idea is this, right? That we render loving service to Krishna physically and mentally without reservation. So we come together and we engage in service, right? And everybody, irrespective, has to engage in some form of service. And we should not be swarthis, selfish by just saying, oh, I'm doing my sadhana. It's like a very early stage, right? If we want to make tremendous progress, fast progress, we have to engage in service. Right? Service means coming and becoming part of the, compassion distribution, like distributing love of Krishna. Right? Preaching. Not being guests, being hosts. Right? We host other people who are new to Krishna consciousness. Then physically and mentally, our devotees here, Raghavendra Prabhu is there, Harnath Prabhu, they've been, working on starting this program in Chandralayout, and they've been, they went, Raghavendra Prabhu went and saw places, then, they went, put up banner. So they're working, okay, prasadam, this, that. So now what happens? Consciousness automatically now starts thinking about Krishna. Right? Whether we have love for Krishna or not, if we just have love for some service that we are doing, it is indirectly love for Krishna. Direct love for Krishna will come. Because we have some propensity to work, but that work, if it is directly engaged in Krishna service, it becomes devotional service. The service attitude will induce the great souls to be more favorable in bestowing their mercy. Right? Which injects the neophyte with all transcendental qualities of the pure devotees. Actually, we should, if we have the opportunity to serve in along with pure devotees, then pure devotees will shower their mercy on us. Right? And that itself will inject us neophytes with all transcendental qualities that are present in those pure devotees. Right? If you are fortunate enough, we can serve in conjunction with pure devotees. But if not, at least we should, engage in service, and we'll get the mercy of the Lord and the parampara. So he's saying if we engage like this gradually, this is developed into a strong attachment to hearing the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, which makes him able to catch up the constitutional portion of gross and subtle bodies, and beyond them, the knowledge of the pure soul and his eternal relationship. So basically, you're saying by engaging in service, we will develop a strong attachment to hear. Those who don't have interest to hear, those who sit in a Bhagavatam class and doze off, right? Please engage in service, preferably alongside pure devotees or under their guidance. This will result in a strong attachment to hearing. And without that strong attachment to hearing, we cannot make progress. Because then we'll be averse to even hearing japa. Nama also will be ours. Leela also will be ours. Rupa also will be ours. Guna also will be ours. Will be ours to hear anything. Hearing anything from about the Lord. So this is very, very important. So we have to serve in the association of pure devotees. Then we will develop strong, and we should serve them. We should serve the mission. Then we will develop a strong attachment to hearing. If we develop a strong attachment to hearing, then we are on our way back home, back to Godhead. Then nothing can stop us. Right? Because we are directly in touch with Krishna whenever we are hearing, and being in touch with Krishna means being away from Maya, purifying our propensities, anarthas go, we develop pure love, we go back to Krishna. So while we might think, oh, this is okay, not a big deal. No, hearing is so powerful. So even after repeated so many efforts, so different languages we are trying to preach, people don't have ruchi. They don't have taste for hearing. And so beautiful purports, right? I mean, all we have to do is simply dive into this nectar. Why is it nectar? Because each and every line will help us pull out of this miserable, poisonous material world. Each and every line that Prabhupada has written is so powerful, so powerful. And it is nectar. Because we won't get this anywhere else. We cannot get this anywhere else. We can get this only in Prabhupada's writing. Actually, see, we should understand our acharyas. Acharyas have written to devotees at a different level of spiritual maturity. That is why we cannot understand and appreciate what they are writing, because Prabhupada has given, then Prabhupada knows what stage we are in. So he has written exactly targeting us, fallen souls of Kali Yuga. And when we keep reading Prabhupada again, then Prabhupada will slowly, steadily, based on how fast we make progress, he will elevate us to actually being able to hear and understand and appreciate what acharyas are saying. Otherwise, if we simply try to go and understand what acharyas are saying, we will not be able to understand. Okay. We'll stop here. Let's see what is the next course. Okay, we'll just finish this. Yad atra kriyate karma bhagavat paritoshanam gnanam yatadadhinam hi bhakti yoga samanvitam. Whatever work is done here in this life for the satisfaction of the mission of the Lord is called bhakti yoga, or transcendental loving service. Bhakti yoga means loving service. And what is called knowledge becomes a concomitant factor. So gnana is not important. Narada Muni is saying knowledge becomes a concomitant factor, side. But main is what? Bhakti yoga. Yeah. Okay, so we'll stop here. Does anybody has any other question? 35. Any questions? Anybody?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
One question. So, in these verses, we also discussed that, like, if we are doing certain duties and then rendering that to Krishna, it is still a karma yoga, right?
Yeah.
So, my question is more towards: are we all still at a karma yoga itself, or like how do we see the transition towards bhakti yoga?
Okay.
Maybe some of the Prabhus in temple, are they next level? Should we keep it in that way, saying that 24 hours they are dedicated in the service of Lord, or like how do we measure it?
Yeah. So very important question. So first is, like we should understand we are doing two things parallelly, right? We are doing bhakti as well, because we are engaging in Navavida Bhakti. We are doing Shravanam Kirtanam, which are activities of bhakti. So we're also engaging in bhakti, but we are also engaging in karma yoga. Okay. So like I said, the transition is today we are spending 50%, 60%, 70% of our time in karma, 20% in bhakti. That has to get reversed. That is first. First is quantity of time. Amount of time that we give directly for Krishna is the first one. Right? See, there are some devotees who were doing karma during Prabhupada's time. They were working outside, but they were coming and giving the whole salary to Prabhupada. That is bhakti yoga. Right? But if you are using that salary and then we have our house and maintenance and we have our likes and needs and wants and this and that, normal grahastha life is karma yoga. There will be very few devotees who are fully dedicated, not even 1 rupee is going here and there for any nonsense. That is still can be taken as bhakti yoga, because their consciousness is just not to deeper material life. Right? But mostly grihasthas are in karma yoga, and then they're doing bhakti also, activities of bhakti. So first stage is to make the amount of time that we are given to bhakti should go on increasing. Right? That is the first stage. Second stage is the consciousness quality. So just because somebody is engaged 24 hours in devotional service doesn't mean that they are definitely in the next stage, like you said. They're in the next stage because they are not wasting their time doing something else. But there might not be 100% Krishna conscious, 100% conscious in their work, but at least quantity, amount of time they are dedicated is the first step they have crossed. Then slowly quality will come in. Right? So first thing is clearly we have to give time to Krishna. We can't say, Krishna, I have only 2 hours in a day, but please take me home back to Godhead. Not possible. Is that okay, Vamshi Prabhu?
Okay, Prabhu. Yeah. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, that is karma yoga. So whatever work we are doing daily in the daily activities, that if you do that work in the presence of consciousness, Krishna consciousness, with all the work we are doing with Krishna consciousness only, that is not karma yoga, na Prabhu?
No, but how can you do all work in Krishna consciousness? What does it mean?
Yes, actually, Lord Krishna also said to Arjuna, do the war. So doing war is karma yoga actually, but as I am saying, you have to do. That is not karma yoga, na Prabhu?
Correct. So, but what is Arjuna doing? Arjuna is doing because Krishna wanted him to fight.
Yes, same
Right?
thing. We are doing our work also. Suppose I am doing my job, Prabhu. So if I think that Krishna has given this work to me, so through me, I have to do this work. So whenever my consciousness is total Krishna has given this work, and I am whatever result I'm getting, I have to give to the Krishna. So with that consciousness, this is not karma yoga, Prabhu.
No, but it then also depends on what you're doing with the result. Just consciousness.
Normal sattvic things only we do, Prabhu.
No. What is sattvic? See, we should not see these cannot be general statements, right? Like for example, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, Vanaprastha ashram, a devotee who is a grihastha should only spend 8 hours working. So how many hours do we work?
8 hours.
If you are working only for 8 hours, if you are using every penny that we are earning for Krishna, then it is not karma yoga. Then literally we are just doing, and it's as good as because we are not giving this money to somebody else. Right? But which is what I'm saying, any normal grihastha, right? Family, children, parents, etc. It will have a sense of me, mine, enjoyment, go here, go there. If that is not there, then it is a sadhu's life.
Correct.
Then it's a sadhu's life.
Yes, Prabhu.
Right? See, then we should understand then what Shastra is saying. How am I living my life? Am I like, okay, now I'm sending my children to school. Now, what does this mean? Why am I sending? What is the idea? Where am I going with all this? Where am I spending this money here? Why do I have a washing machine at home? No, I'm saying, see, then it goes into, it's not a very simple thing to say. That is why, what is Vanaprastha? Vanaprastha means husband and wife have no material activity. Just maintaining body, that's all. Like eating, taking, bath, washing clothes, and then whatever time else is there, directly engaged in Krishna service. Directly, not indirectly. Right? When we are indirectly involved, then our consciousness, then, another test for this is that when you're chanting, you should not get distracted by your work thoughts. You should just be completely unattached to your work. You're just doing it because Krishna is saying, that's all. Then I should not be worried about promotion. I should not be worried about how much I'm earning. I should not be worried about working 1 minute more than what I'm doing. Practically in this material world, it's in living in a city, in a corporate world, somebody who can achieve this is amazing. right? If you're living a life like that, then nothing like it.
Yes, Prabhu.
Then it ceases to be karma yoga. Yeah, absolutely. Super high consciousness, that is.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else? See, just one distinction we should be very clear. Bhakti means activities of bhakti. Now with a bhakti. Anything else is, if you're doing jnana, then it's jnana. If it's doing karma, then it's karma. And we are trying to dovetail. Now this whole dovetailing business, people think the dovetail itself is bhakti. No, dovetailing is not bhakti. What does dovetailing mean? I like to eat cake, so I will make cake, offer it to Krishna. This is dovetailing. Hey, did Krishna tell that he likes cake to eat? If so, what kind of cake? Right? Then we make that kind of a cake, not the kind of a cake that I like. I like to play guitar, so I play it for Krishna. Did Krishna say I like guitar? No, Krishna said I like kartal, I like mridanga. That's it. And maximum, if you're doing bhajans, then I like harmonium. That's all. Right? So dovetailing is also not bhakti. Dovetailing is just good because it is, our activities are becoming somewhat, those propensities are getting used in Krishna service. So eventually they should get purified. But unfortunately in ISKCON, what happens is this dovetailing itself becomes like a big deal. I am not ready to hear what acharyas have to say, what Krishna has to say about how he expects me to do service. But I will just say, no, anything and everything can be offered to Krishna. That is a very initial neophyte stage. Advanced stage is to only accept whatever Krishna is saying as all. That's it. Okay, Krishna is saying no guitar, throw the guitar. That's it, over. End of my dovetailing business. Now I'm just doing whatever Krishna wants me to do. That is real bhakti. So a lot of, some of these topics are very touchy, and most people don't give too much attention to all this. They just say, somehow engage in bhakti, it's okay. Yeah, which is okay for a neophyte. Somebody new in Krishna consciousness, it is absolutely okay. In fact, it has to be done because possibly that's the best way that that person will come into Krishna consciousness. But as we make progress, we have to mature to say, okay, this is not, dovetailing time is over. Now it's doing whatever Krishna wants. You know what dovetailing means? That just whatever propensities we have, we are using it in the service of Krishna, right? But not trying to understand what Krishna wants of us. What rules have been put down by the acharyas. That is surrender.
So dovetailing can also be understood too as so like we say that okay, you need a specific level for bhakti to start, and if your current consciousness is not up to that level, then okay, start dovetailing so that you
Correct.
slowly purify your consciousness and reach to that level.
Correct.
So that your bhakti platform can start. Is that
Correct.
correct?
Correct. Perfect. So that is why dovetail means actually hook. It's like a hook. You latch on to something and then you climb up to that stage. But we latch on and we remain latched on. We don't want to go up at all because we are very happy with it. Oh, I love playing guitar.
Yeah.
Classic is this bongo. What is that? Bongo or whatever that is. It's there in every temple in ISKCON. Anyway, okay. No other questions? We can end. Okay. Ancha kalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyo patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo koti vaishnav. Jai Jagat Guru Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Hey, if all of you have time tomorrow morning, then we'll do. Otherwise, we can even do once a week. Because mostly Sunday is like very few people turn up. So just let me know. I'm happy to just do once a week as well.